Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hey, I want to share with you all a testimony of mine. It was a powerful dream that was given to me by the Lord. In the beginning of this dream, He made clear to me that a lot of us get distracted and we get to worrying about the wrong things here on earth. We get to thinking and worrying about these laws and this virus and this movement going on, and a lot of it is a distraction. It's the way the enemy tries to keep us from fulfilling our purpose here on earth. And in this dream, it took place in a room that wasn't here on earth. And in this room, it was filled with people, filled with souls. And in this room, they were standing in line. All these people were standing in line. It was souls ascending to this room. And they were standing in line to go inside this door. And I was standing there in the middle, standing next to Christ. He allowed me to feel what He was feeling at that moment as I stood next to Him. And He was just sad. He was just weeping and weeping and weeping. He was just so sad. He also allowed me to understand exactly what the people were thinking. Different people was thinking as I looked at him. So as I looked at the first person, he was sitting slouched against the wall, and he was just confused and scared, and he was in a state of shock and didn't even know where he was, and he didn't even know what was going on. What the Lord showed me about this person was what happened to him, whatever happened to him on earth, it happened so fast that he was here one minute and he was in that place the next. And he was just scared, like didn't even realize that there was other people in that room in there with him. The next person that was standing next to him, he on earth, he had no regards for Christ, right? He already knew where he was going. He already knew who he worshiped, which was Satan. And he knew he was going to hell. So he was standing in line, just like twirling his thumb, like, oh, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I already know I'm going to hell. Like, I don't care. The next set of individuals that was there in that line, this is very important. As I looked at them, they were crying out to Christ and pointing and crying out to Christ. And they were saying, like, Lord, we know you. We know you, Lord. We know you. We know you, and we know who you are. And we know of your grace and your mercy. And they were crying out, like, Lord, can you please show us that grace and mercy in this place? Can you please? And the Lord replied. And all He replied was, I cannot. I cannot. But at that moment in time, the Lord, He was just sad, and he wanted to help him out. He just wanted to help him out. But he said, I cannot. It was too late for them. In that place, grace and mercy didn't exist. And it was too late. What He showed me about these individuals was on earth, they were good people. They went to church. They read their Bible. They did good deeds. And, they were good people on earth. But they never submitted. They never submitted because they thought they had time. These people knew God had a plan and a purpose for their life. But they got complacent and they thought they had time. So they procrastinated and they kept putting the Lord off. They kept putting it off. They said, on Sunday I'll go in and I'll go ahead and I'll start living for Christ, and I'll turn that leaf, and then that's when I'll start living for God, and I'll be on fire, But right now, I just want to get some things out. I just want to get some things out of my system and off my chest, Sunday came and they did it again. It was like, you know what? Okay, next Sunday, I'll go ahead and turn that leaf, and I'll go ahead and start, living right, and stop clubbing, stop partying, and stop doing what I want to do, right? And start living for Christ. That Sunday came, they did the same thing. They put it off. Because they thought they had time. Right? In the meantime, they perished. And then after that, they were standing in front of the Lord, and they're crying out, scared, like, Lord, 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 we know you, and we know of your grace and your mercy. And they're crying out, Lord, can you please help us out and show us that grace and mercy? And he replied, I cannot. What he showed me about these people was that they had religion, but no relationship. Because they were good people and they did good deeds and they did good things, but they had no relationship. They were lukewarm Christians, and they did not make it in because they thought they had time. They never submitted, and that's what he kept making clear to me. Submit, son, submit. They never submitted. Being that they never submitted, they never allowed Christ into their life to gain that relationship with him. And being that they never gained that relationship with him, they never fulfilled their purpose here on earth. Being that they never fulfilled their purpose here on earth, they didn't make it in the gates of heaven. Because they had no relationship with Christ. As the three individuals, as they looked down, it was like they were looking down here on earth and they were thinking, we don't realize how lucky we are. And we don't realize how lucky we have it here on earth to wake up every day and not be in the position that they're in. Because for them, it was already too late. We don't realize how lucky we are to still turn that leaf and do what we're supposed to do here on earth and serve God and be about our Father's business. We don't realize that. We're so lucky to have his grace and his mercy. But still, yet we still take it for granted because we think we have time and we put them off. And we like, you know what, I'll do it on this day. I'll do it, you know, at this time. But right now, you know, it's about me. I want to just, you know, tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. So we must be down here. We must be about our Father's business. So that is what he showed me. And until this day, I've never been the same. After the good Lord showed me that, I've never been the same. He didn't have to show me that, but he did. Because he loved me and he loves you and he loves us so much that, you know, he decided to show me. And it wasn't just for me, because when I woke up out of that dream, I knew it wasn't just for me, but it was for me to share. It was for me to share, because if anybody else is in that state, you know, where they feel that, you know, they got time and that, you know, I'm good, you know, I grew up in church, you know, the Lord knows my heart. Well, let me tell you, tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. Choose ye this day who you shall serve. So I figured I'll share that with you all. It's a powerful message for myself, and I thank God every day. Every day. So that's all I got.